Welcome to the channel of JI Colors. My name is Jody and I'm happy to have you here today for a color and chat. And while I am coloring, I am going to be doing the seasons tag that is hosted by both Amanda Colors and Disney Meg's Coloring. And I will link their channels below so that you can find out more about those two lovely ladies. They created a tag for the seasons, and what you do is there are 10 questions, and depending on the season you are in, you will answer the questions about the season. So since today is the first day of summer, I am going to be doing the summer tag. So if that's of something interest to you, then grab a cool drink and let's get started. As I mentioned, we are working in A Frog's Tale by R.J. Hampson. This page here is Rest and Recreation, and I am going to be working on a page that has already been prepped with Daniel Smith's watercolor ground, and I will insert that video right here. And I'm going to, I already did the nameplate page, which I don't often do, so I did complete this one. And now I'm going to do the first page in the book. I've got a piece of paper behind it, and I want to actually do some watercolors in this book. So I am going to first treat this page with Daniel Smith's watercolor ground. And I'm going to treat just the picture area. So I'm not going to treat the entire page, but just the picture area itself. So I'm going in one direction back and forth, and then I'll come back and do the opposite direction. Okay, now I'll let this dry for 24 hours. So the page has dried. I haven't sanded it. It is a little bit bumpy, but I don't feel a lot of ridges or anything. But why I did the page prep is because I wanted to use my Zig Clean Color Real brush pens, and they are a water-based ink. And I also wanted to use my India Ink Pink Pit Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens. So I will be using those. I have the 60 set of Zig, and then I just have a collection of the Pit Artist pens. So I've just been collecting them basically in small sets and open stock. And they work really well together, and they do work best on paper that has been prepared. So I've swatched out a bunch of greens. This row here is the Zig, and these here are the Pit Artist pens. So I will just tuck this to the side so I remember what I'm doing. And I've also got a water brush with just some plain water in it because these do activate nicely with water. Okay, so I will continue on coloring, and as I'm coloring, I will bring up the questions, and we'll get those answered as well. So you can blend these with both the other, like a marker itself, or with water. So, and they do blend nicely together. So to get rid of this harsh line, you just blend it out nicely. There. Okay, I will grab my questions, and I will also leave the questions down below in the video description, so that if you choose to answer these questions as well, feel free to use the tag Color Your Season and both tag myself and Amanda and Disney Megs so we can follow along your answers. So our first tag question is number 1, favorite thing to color in summer. I've never really thought of myself as a seasonal colorist, so I don't know if it's a favorite thing to color in just summer per se, but I do like to color landscapes and nature more so than people. I'm not a person, I don't like to do portraits or hair. I know some people just love to do hair and people pictures. I find them more intimidating. I'd prefer to do flowers or landscape or non-realistic people, I guess. So I have been enjoying Rita Berman's and Lulu Mayo books of late. They're just a nice size, so I think that the size of the book, in the summer I like to get outside more and get other things done, so I'm not inside as much as I am in the winter. So I find smaller pictures are a little bit easier to feel like you've gotten something done, because I don't tend to have whips. So I'm not somebody that starts a page and then leaves it and then comes back later. I typically finish a page. So my answer would be smaller pictures of nature. Okay, just using 2 different colors of brown and darkening up in some spots and using the lighter one to blend out. And even with the lighter one, if you come back in and do another coat, it will darken up. These are real brushes on the end, so like they're bristles, and they're very, very fine. So I selected these because of such fine detail. If I zoom you in, you'll see how tiny the twigs are and stuff. So yeah, the real brush pens are nice for getting into detail. Okay, let me grab the questions and we'll read you number 2. Question number 2, favorite colors to use on a summer page. I would like to probably use, or I tend to go with bright colors. So greens, bright greens, some pinks, blue. So colors that you would, find in nature. So, flower colors. So I tend to use a lot of green in my colors. And in fact, I was looking at my polychromos. I'll pull out the, if I go to look at the colors that I use, this is my Derwent carry-all case. So these are I have them in Color with Claire's color family order. And so my blues quite large. My pinks are still quite long. There's a few smaller ones, but by far greens, tiny. All my greens get well used, and my browns. So that means I'm doing a lot of trees, a lot of florals, a lot of wood. I have used a lot of brown, and then my grays are also quite well used. And a lot of these browns, this is the second pencil already, as well as some of the greens. So I've already replaced them in the past. And the white and the cream also get quite a bit of use. So I obviously love to use pencil more than any other medium. and that kind of shows. So because I've got the paper treated, it's like working on watercolor paper. So everything stays wet a little bit longer, and you can move pigment around, you can reactivate it. And so I am being careful not to, like the brown could still be reactivated if I wanted to move it. So you're just being a little bit careful not to move stuff that I don't want to move. But it certainly is nice to have that option. So if I wanted to use a water brush instead of that lighter color, I could also do that. So same. There you go. Okay. Okay, I took a little bit of time with the camera off to quickly do a few of these leaves so that we weren't spending all our time doing leaves. And I'm just going to do this piece of hayseed or whatever he's chewing on. Okay. Question number 3, favorite summer scent. So I have breathing issues, obviously, and I'm on oxygen, so I don't actually have a great sense of smell anymore. It's been 4 years since I've been on oxygen, so but I do enjoy smelling the outside, nice and when it's nice and clean and fresh air and stuff, because I do stay indoors quite a bit in the winter. However, right now in Canada, we are having quite a few forest fires. So I'm sure you've seen in the news what's been happening here. So while I don't have any forest fires close to my home, the smoke from them has traveled, and so today it's very smoky outside. It smells like a campfire, smells like we are camping, and so you know that there's a lot of smoke in the air. So I don't enjoy, I normally would say yes, I like campfire scent, but now with forest fires, it's not a scent that I actually appreciate anymore. So a favorite scent for summer, I would say, would be lilacs. We have some lilac trees outside. I have a Korean dwarf lilac bush, and it is just loaded this year with lilacs. So it's doing very, very well, and seems to be having a good year. So it's very fragrant, and because it's it's a low bush, but it's so highly concentrated with lilacs right now that even with my oxygen on, I can smell them when I'm close to the tree. So they are a very pretty smell. They don't last long, so while they are here, I like to appreciate them. I don't usually bring flowers into my house. I enjoy flowers outside in nature, so I have flower beds outside, and but I don't tend to smell the flower beds. Like we have marigolds and lots of peonies and other flowers in beds, but they don't really smell. So, and in my greenhouse this year, I actually, for my birthday, 2 different people gave me small rose bushes. So I put those in my greenhouse. So I thought I would try them there. So, and Annie has joined us, and she is sleeping by my feet and snoring now. So I apologize if you're hearing that. But she can pretty much sleep wherever she wants. She's 18 years old and she's pretty precious to me, so I'm pretty happy that she's just here with us. Okay, I'm not really sure what this thing here is. It kind of looks like some moss, so I'm gonna actually color it that way. And yeah, so this kind of looks like, and then this probably is the same, so I'll color some of that. Okay. It might be slime trail from this, in fact, we could color that like that, because could be slime from the snail here. Okay. Number 4, favorite summer decor. Well, I'm not really sure if it's decor, if it's more outside than inside, but we'll go with that. I'm going to start using some of the Pitt pens here for a bit. Summer decor, July 1st is Canada Day, so I like to put some red and white decorations outside, have a flag, and I actually have all my flowers this year are also red and white, so just kind of like to have everything color coordinated, and I like red and white, so that was this year's flower bed colors. And if they are blooming nicely, I'll take a picture and insert it here for you. Okay, not really sure sometimes what things are, so we're just gonna kind of okay. I'm not a fan of Amazon printed books, but sometimes if you want to participate in, you know, the current trend of coloring books, and this is my first R.J. Hampson book of any kind, and unfortunately you have to select an Amazon printed book, so paper seems to be working just fine with the Daniel Smith watercolor ground, so that I think was a good option. Okay. Might have to start actually coloring the frog guy. Okay. And I do like this. I want to give to zoom you in a little bit on the froggy guy. So number 5 is favorite summer food. So I'm going to do a food, and also I'm going to do a drink. So my favorite food would probably be watermelon. I really like watermelon in the summer. And my favorite drink would be, and this is something that I only drink in the summer, and that is a 7-Eleven Slurpee. And I don't drink them very often, but I do like to kind of have one when it's nice and warm out. And yeah, so, and I like the pink grapefruit Slurpee, but you can very, very rarely find them. So then I like watermelon or Coke. I'm not a fan of Pepsi. I'm just gonna blend these out a little bit. Okay. And I love watermelon. And funny thing is, my dogs, Annie and Daisy, both love watermelon too. So that is actually one of the treats that they get. Oh, you know what? That was not his arm. So this is how we're going to fix it. We're going to use some water and we're going to lift it. Okay. So that's a good thing to see, is how you can fix something. So this is his elbow down here. The rest of his arm is hidden behind that. And then we've got some feet. Okay. So these are the India ink, and it's a felt tip, and it's also very precise, so I like that. And they also blend well. And they blend well if the paper is treated like watercolor paper. So they move quite readily on treated paper, not as much on a thirsty paper that hasn't been treated. They do move fairly good on smooth cardstock as well. So just keep those in mind. And let's see, get a couple of colors for the little worm guy. So I have my, zoom you out. I have my 60 Zig Clean colors just in a bin, and I turn them upside down to see the tips. I would like to get a case for them, but they don't really fit well in cases. So or at least I haven't found a case that I like. So I'll make him kind of skin color. These do have names and numbers on them. So like this one here is number 72 and it's beige. And you can buy these open stock. So if you've never tried them before, you can, just like the Pit Artist pens, you can buy a couple open stock and give them a try to make sure that they're going to be something that works for you and your style of coloring. So was I off camera for that section? I certainly hope not. Okay, we're gonna everything is drying very, very quickly, so I'm not worried about that. Number 6, favorite summer activities. So I don't get out a whole lot. I'm kind of a homebody kind of person, and the pandemic certainly didn't help with that, so I tend to stick fairly close to home. I do enjoy visiting people when I see them, so it's not that I don't like people. It's just sometimes hard to get out and about. I do have to plan how long I'm going to be away from the house to make sure I have enough oxygen with me. So that does sometimes limit where I can go for how long. But overall, my favorite summer activity would be going for walks with my dog outside on my property. I would like to do gardening, and this year is the first year that I'm solely responsible for all the gardening. That was something that my husband used to do. He used to do, I would help plan and plant the garden, but he was kind of responsible for the maintaining and the weeding and everything. So this year it's me, and everything is growing, and I'm quite happy for that. I have got help on the acreage to get the lawn cut, but otherwise that's the only help that I've had so far. So it's a good job. I like gardening because that takes up quite a bit of my time. And it must be hilarious to see me outside in the garden with a oxygen tank on wheels, and sometimes I forget I only have 7 feet of tubing, and I start walking, and I kind of get yanked back and almost fall back. So I'm sure that I provide some entertainment for the neighbors to see me out there, but it's getting done, and everything is still alive. Okay, we're over halfway done all the questions, and I'm hoping that we can get most of this picture done. So let's see. I'm looking for the water brush. Oh. Okay. Question number 7. Coloring book you feel best embodies summer. Well, it's still my last in the spring edition of this tag. I talked about Rita Berman's Season book, and I'm going to pick that one again because it has all of the seasons, which, obviously summer is one of them. So, and I have been coloring in it. I don't really have a bunch of other books. The other book I would say is Maria Trollet books. She has always quite a bit of nature, pictures, so I have been coloring in her books, and they remind me of summer. And I like her books because she has the actual name of the plants and the bugs or the insects that are on her pages. And I know you don't have to color realistically, and if that's not something you're into, that's totally fine. But I'm an accountant, and I have a hard time not coloring something true to life. So I've been working on breaking out of that and trying different color combinations and stuff like that. But I do like being able to look up the name of the actual plant and Googling it and seeing what my options are, because sometimes a flower can have, like, 10 different colors, but I've only seen 2 of them. So it's nice still to try to expand my color palette but still stay true to the plant. So Maria Trolle. So I have the Botanicum book and I have the Universum book. And the Universum book is excellent because it's a compilation book, but it also has a bunch of pages just unique to the Universum book. So I did a flip through of that and explained which pages were from which book, and it has a lot of pages in it. It's definitely worth the money for that book, and very happy that I picked it up. So and this was a tree, or I thought it was a tree, and it's actually part of the mushroom. So okay. Next question, number 8. Do you have any summer traditions? Well, summer tradition is that I plant flowers, and probably about it. I have a flower garden, a vegetable garden. I usually try and have a family barbecue once a year, usually in July or August, and not sure we're going to do that again this year, but perhaps. My son is actually getting married this year, so there will be new things to do, I think. See, I don't think that I have any traditions that are just strictly for the summer. I do like to do stuff outside when I can, and there is the next question: do you go on a summer vacation? And this also could have answered the past one, which is, do you have a summer tradition? And that is yes. I have a group of 6 girls, girlfriends, and we call ourselves the Sylvan Lake Girls, just so that I can reference which group they are. And we do a girls' weekend every year in August, and we go to my girlfriend's house. She lives on a lake, and we've been doing this for about probably 15 years, and yeah, we have a great time. We all bring different foods, and one lady's responsible for the Jello shooters. I'm usually responsible for providing a craft. So we do something fun. Another lady brings lawn games. It's just nice. So that's my tradition. That I definitely make sure that I'm attending. I try not to miss one. I missed only one in all of this time, and that was due to COVID. So, yeah. Lots of fun. Hopefully that was on camera. Okay. Okay. Here's what we're looking at right now. I'm gonna take a sneak peek back and see what colors I did for him before. Okay, I did a brown hat, blue pants, and a cream colored shirt before. He's definitely wearing different clothes, so I don't have to worry about keeping them the same. So that's good. So other than my girls' weekend away for a summer vacation, I usually would try and get together with a sister and a mom or a family member and go away for like a cabin type week, if at all possible. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So that one's kind of a bit more fluid, and it'll depend year to year what's available. So because that one is not a yearly one, I probably wouldn't say it's a total tradition. It's more like if we have the opportunity to do something, we do. Okay. I'm going to come back in and do a bit more shading now that it's dry and I can see oh goodness, honey. Okay. For the water here, I'm not sure what I'll do there. Would be nice to kind of make it a little bit sparkly, so we'll have to think. Okay, number 10, do you have a favorite summer memory? So I think I'm going to break this up into a childhood memory and then an adult memory, because I think that I'm 57 years old and there's a whole lot of summers in that time period, so it would be hard to pick just one memory per se. So for my childhood memory, I'm going to say that I went to, or I belonged to Pony Club. So we had horses when we were kids, and in the summertime, we went to Pony Club, and that was a week-long, so Pony Club camp. So Pony Club went all kind of year long, but in the summer they had a week-long camp. And I quite enjoyed getting to go to that every day and do fun stuff with the horses. And I was, of course, not ever, a stellar horse person. I was had lots of health challenges, and I was a small kid. And so it was not easy for me to ride and do the things that I was doing, but I was bound and determined to keep up with my brothers and sisters who also were in Pony Club. And yeah, so when we would go to horse shows, and yeah, so I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed summer with riding with the family. And of course, you're not in school, so that was always fun. Even though I did like school, it was, of course, nice to have summer breaks. And then when you're an adult, summer breaks, you still are working anyways. So Of course, now life has changed again, but yeah. So as an adult, a favorite memory is, and this is, so I was a young adult, so done school, of course, and all that kind of stuff, but this was the first time we did it, and I've since done this a few times with different people, but my grandma, my sister, and my girlfriend rented a cabin in BC, and we drove there, and we had a lovely week on a cabin on the Shuswap Lake, and we just thoroughly relaxed. We went for walks every day. We played crib and just laughed and had lots of fun. And we went with my grandma, who's now passed away. So it's a really great memory. And sometimes I think, just getting away and spending quality time one-on-one with the people that you care about. Yeah, it was really, really great. We have lots of memories and fun things to remind us of that time. So yeah, going away with family on trips is always a good time. Sometimes hard to get away and hard to do, but always worth the effort. So yeah, okay, I think we're doing really good with this. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to use some Spectrum Noir sparkle pens for the water, since I have treated the paper, and I can. So I'm going to do, I've got the color Icy Blue. I'm going to start it close to the edge of the water, and then I'll bring it out with a lighter blue in the center. And those were the 10 questions. So and those were my answers. The other color is Sea Spray. So let's shake it up. And let's see, whoops. Yeah. Kind of mix the two together and leave a little bit of sparkle on the page. And I have to do the bobbin there, the fish lure. Okay, and then I'm going to not squeeze out any water. I'm just going to mix the two up a little bit. So I don't get rid of all the whites of the paper. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have thought about some answers for yourself. If you want to share any answers to any of the questions in the comments, by all means. If you have a YouTube channel and would like to participate in this, then by all means. I look forward to seeing your video. Tag me so I can find it. And yeah, I will let this dry. I will finish off Mr. Fogarty on my own time, and I'll let you get on with the rest of your day. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful, creative, and colorful week. And until next time, happy coloring.